Those are the two things I hate the most that guys use when really what happens in these situations, specifically when it comes to people who say nice guys finish last, you're really not that, you're not a nice guy. Nice guys don't have to say that they're nice guys.
Yeah.
You ever noticed that too?
Yeah.
Like, because you told me about a situation back in the day where there was a guy who really liked you. It was in Taiwan before you left.
Oh, is it that one? Okay. I don't know. I was like, oh, which one?
Oh, which one? It was the guy that was in Taiwan and he wrote the letter for you.
Oh, no, that was in college.
That was in college.
Yeah. I guess they're kind of similar if you think about it like that.
In what ways?
Because... he was always in my friends. He put himself in the friend zone. Like he was always just a buddy, and he never asked me out or anything. Like not that I was interested in. Like I thought we were totally friends. And then towards the end, right before we graduated, he decided he's like, "Hey, you want to go like
just
have
out
a
of
dinner?"
nowhere.
Yeah, out of nowhere. And I was like, "Oh yeah, sure, let's have dinner." But it was just one-on-one. I was like, oh, this is weird. And so just like the Aloha say, yeah, they were talking. They're like, oh my gosh, he's asking you out. I'm like, I didn't think like that. I thought we were just friends. But then now that you guys say like that, like, how am I supposed to approach this? And so it was like this really fancy steakhouse, by the way.
Okay. Yeah, you got that good free meal. Okay.
I did get a free meal and, dressed up, whatnot, but...
really awkward, huh?
Yeah, it was kind of awkward.
Was it because he couldn't really start a conversation, or what was awkward is because you knew that he kind of wanted more?
Yeah. Well, I don't know if it's more, but I knew that it was more than just a friend thing because he didn't do that to all the friends. It was just me.
Just you, yeah.
And, before we left, he wrote me a very nice letter.
Tight. Of course, letters always work, homies. You know what I'm saying? Make sure you write that letter, cuz.
After I left the town, though, I was like, I'm never going back up. And
But he wrote a letter to you when you were leaving?
After we left, yeah. After we're done.
What's the whole fucking point of that, guy?
I think it was just like a closure, maybe, of like how he felt about me. But that said, I didn't.
Well, I guess what I'm asking is like when he wrote you that letter, was he expecting a response back?
I don't know.
Hey, I'm not leaving because after I read this letter, I have to stay here for you.
I'm coming back for you.
And then, Korean drama music plays in the back. 추억들 사랑했던 기억이
사랑은 돌아오는 거야.
And then right when you're about to leave, you turn around and he grabs your wrist.
And then the cliffhanger.
Yeah. And then it gets into it's like phase. Yeah, it's like foggy.
Glossy.
With the glitter.
Yeah. And then zoom, zoom, zoom.
Yeah.
No, that was the next episode.
That's so funny.
No, I just text him and be like, "Hey, thanks for the present."
Yeah, and that's the thing about that kid Yusuke too, right? It's
he's
like
so adorable.
He's very innocent, and he's like misreading into a lot of these situations. Like when a girl, like for example, he is an amazing musician. He plays the guitar really, really well. So I think with the girl, her name is what? What was her name again? Lauren Tsai, right? So Lauren shows interest and she's excited about his music. And he kind of takes that as, oh, like this might be a good segue for me to ask her out on a date.
Any interest, he thinks.
Exactly. Any interest, which is true. Like when you see a girl who's interested in something that you're doing, that's probably your avenue to really establish whether you're going to be friends or you could show interest. Problem with him is he just stood there like a dumbass. Like he just stands there with his mouth open, just waiting for something to happen, and he's creating these narratives in his head. You know what I mean? Like,
how do you know so well?
Because when I was younger, I was just like that.
I knew it.
But these are the qualities that we don't like in people because we see that in ourselves, right? And so
you were like him? You play music? And
no, but that's more like how I was when I was
in high school.
Like 14, 15 maybe. You know what I mean? Like that age. So it's like, I think for him, because he hasn't dated yet, that he hasn't experienced these feelings, right? But it's just like, for example, he's not a bad looking guy. Super talented, right? Very sweet, very nice. And the one missing piece that he's missing right now, which I always talk about, is confidence. His shoulders are down. He kind of has his tail between his legs.
Yeah.
If he would just stand up straight, talk to her, look her in the eye, but instead when he talks to her, he just stares at the floor, looks around, and it's not very attractive.
He doesn't have swag. If he had Ryo swag.
Who's Ryo?
Ryo, the basketball player on the Tokyo
exactly.
one.
That confidence. Oh, yeah, relax, all right? My couch is getting wet right now. But like
what? Okay.
Yeah, exactly. So in the new season, that guy has a lot of confidence, or even like that goofy confidence that Pepe has.
I love Pepe.
Pepe, if you guys don't know, is this? If you watch Terrace House, you can tell I'm really into this shit. Is this Italian immigrant that he moved to Japan to be a manga artist? He's also confident too, but he in a goofy, like geeky way, right? Because geeks can have confidence too.
Totally.
So Yusuke has none of that shit.
If he had his music confidence, maybe.
There's this episode that you see where there's this very weird interaction between Lauren and him, where he's trying to ask her to go to North Shore. So because they're on a wall, so he's trying to ask her to go to the North Shore with him, but then obviously other people came along too because he didn't really establish himself. So the reason why I get irritated about this is because this is really the interaction that you see from guys, that what really happens, but the story that they tell is different. Not from Yusuke, but other people, right? So guys will be like, oh man, like I'm stuck in the friend zone. These nice guys finish last. It's like, no, it's not that nice guys finish last. The girl was never interested in you in the first place.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Are guys in general, are guys like that?
I don't think all guys are like that, but I'm talking about a specific type of guy that's very bitter towards women because they are inadequate. It is not the girl's fault. I don't like it when guys blame girls for not liking them. A girl doesn't have to fucking like you. They do not owe it to you to give themselves to you because you're a nice guy.
You tell them.
I hate that shit because number one, too, it's like I'm not Mr. What Captain Save-A-Ho, Mr. Feminist or shit like that. But I don't like it when people say that you owe me your feelings because I'm a good guy. Like, how fucking dare you? That's great. You're a nice guy. You're supposed to be a nice guy.
Yeah.
But it's up to you to show somebody kind of what you can offer them in a relationship sense.
And on top of that, if you're a nice guy, we will be nice to you because hey, why would we treat you like crap when you're nice? So we will approach you very nicely, and they receive that as like, oh, we're moving on, we're getting something here. It's like, no,
it's that social awkwardness where they can't tell what flirting is. It's right, like because if they see them, right, and they see that girl with another dude and they kind of behave different, it's like, okay, that's attraction. You know what I mean? Like when you have interacted with this girl. She's very sweet. She smiles. She laughs. She's having a good time. It doesn't mean she's attracted to you, right? It just means that you're a nice guy and she's a nice girl and you guys are having good interactions. Now, if you wanted to establish yourself and create that relationship, you can't sit there twiddling your thumbs, expecting things to happen. Yeah. You're not making a move. You're not asserting yourself. You're not letting that person know that you want something more in a relationship. And by the time that time passes, like it's probably months, maybe sometimes even years for these guys. And then out of nowhere, just like in your case, they go, let's go on a date. What the fuck? What do you mean, let's go on a date?
Yeah.
Where did this come from? How are you supposed to take it? Like, how did you receive it?
I mean, we didn't see each other after that. He lives up in NorCal. I live in SoCal. So it was just
it was such toodles. I don't want to say it's a coward thing because I don't know the guy, right? But it's more like, what was the point? I
think for him, it might have been a closure for it. Because he knew that, hey, we're not gonna able to see each other every day that we used to. It was kind of like Terrace House because we had same classes every day. So we would see each other every day doing the same activities. And he knew that, okay, this is gonna come to an end. Maybe he had some feelings for me and he's like, I need to put a closure into this. So he gave me a letter.
What was the letter?
It was a poem.
Good God, guys.
I read it. I was like, wait. I'm not reading this correctly. This is not a letter.
Like, why is it rhyming?
Yeah. Something about sunflower and birds.
Did it make you feel sweet or did it make you want to throw up?
Neither. I was just kind of like... Shocked and laughing because it was just so out of the blue. But I thought it was sweet, but at the same time I knew or maybe he already knew how I felt about him. So I was like, I don't know how to approach this. Like, how do I respond to this? I have to say something. So maybe it was coward of me. I don't know, because I just texted him and said, hey, thank you for the gift. That's so sweet of you.
Well, I mean, what were you supposed to say? Do you see what I'm saying?
Right? Yeah, exactly.
That's like, I just don't like that. I'm not saying that every person has to approach a girl the same way, right? Because some guys have a more subtle approach. I'm not a very subtle person. Like like when we interacted, I was not subtle at all.
No, you weren't.
Because that friend zone shit don't exist to me.
Oh shoot!
Either I get rejected or you accept me. Either way, we'll figure it out.
There was no friend. No, that wasn't even an option. You told me, you're like, hey, we're not friends.
Yeah, because you gave me the crappiest hug ever. I was like, that's a friend hug.
I gave the Lauren hug.
Yeah, you gave the Lauren Tsai hug. I was like, nah, I don't like that.